We are the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network.
And this is our news recap show. I am your host, the Captain. And basically what I want to go over today is a couple of things that I recently learned about. And also I want to talk about the Chris Dorner stuff. So I'm going to try to get through it in one segment here, but it might go into two. But basically what I want to start off with is I used to always tell people, about cash. I used to say someday the money that you have in your wallet is going to be useless. They're just not going to care about your money. And it's going to be a steadily growth. First they'll do away with paper money, and then they'll start doing away with your bank accounts and stuff like that, and then it'll switch over to a credit system. I used to just tell people this based off my knowledge that I've gained through writing my science fiction novels. That I don't have documentation for all of it because I was writing a science fiction novel. I wasn't looking to source anything. I was just like, this is good information, and absorbed it into my brain. And I used to tell people, someday they'll do away with the cash, and then they'll dwindle away the bank accounts. And they already done it in a lot of other countries. But people used to always tell me, that will never happen here. They'll never do that here. And that's always the isolated bubble that people tend to, it's like an ostrich burying its head in the sand because they don't want to believe that it'll ever happen here. It won't happen here. I'm in my bubble, and we're safe because we have a bubble around us. Well, bubbles pop pretty easy for those people who think that they're safe in their bubbles. But I used to always tell people this, and then sure enough, Louisiana has begun the process of doing away with cash. Now it'll spread, but Louisiana has begun by outlawing or banning cash transactions. You're no longer allowed to pay with this stuff, with cash. It's been banned. This stuff right here has been banned in secondhand sales in Louisiana. So I guess if you get caught, doing a private sale of something, like if I was in Louisiana and I wanted to sell this video game, I'm not sure if it applies to businesses because I could always go to a GameStop and trade it in for cash, but maybe that's now illegal in Louisiana. But basically, if I'm reading it correctly, if I wanted to sell this to my neighbor and said, give me $10 and you got this video game, that I would be arrested for an illegal transaction because I paid with cash for a secondhand sale. So people who say it can't happen here, well, it is happening here right now in the United States of America. And then if you're like, well, it's happening in Louisiana, that's not where I live. Well, it will spread. What if the federal government decides to pick up on this law? And that's how it works. It starts at a state level, and then it manifests in the federal level because it's probably already in the federal level at some point, in a committee, or it's introduced by a senator, or it's probably there already, and it just hasn't been publicly announced. But I guarantee you the works are in the pile of bills to be looked at. So that being said, just to let people know that that's the thing here. And I guess I'm going to make it a two-segment here, because I also want to tell people, I always talk about, in the future they're going to come up with a credit system. It's going to be a global credit system for transactions, except it's not going to be the credit system you think it's going to be. Like, let's say they'll give you a credit level, a credit score, and that'll be, your credit level. And let's say, they give you 1,500 credits. That's your credit level, 1,500. Well, it doesn't mean you go to McDonald's and let's say a hamburger costs 50 credits. It doesn't mean because you're a 1,500 credit level that you can go in there and say, give me a hamburger, here's my, take 50 credits off my 1,500. No. It means that you're allowed to get anything 1,500 credits below a certain number. You'll be limited to how much you can get of a certain object. But, if you're in the 1,500 level, you can only get objects within the 1,500 level range. Let's say, you have 2,500 credits. You can buy things in the 2,500 credit range, and it'll be, incrementally better. But the problem is it'll be a system set up where it's near impossible to increase your credit level. And you won't be working anymore to make money. You'll be working to maintain your credit level, and if you don't work, your credit level will decrease. And it's not about financial wealth, it's about raising your credit level, and that'll be the system they set up. And it'll allow the elite to say, well, we have infinity credit level, and that means we get everything, and there's no limitations on how much we can get. And to be honest with you, the credit system also says basically you don't own anything. It's a debt system. It says you're in debt to these guys with the infinity credit level, and they can dictate what level of society you're allowed to have and what types of goods you're allowed to have, because technically they're saying they own everything, and they're just letting you rent stuff out based on whatever level they put you at. So that's the system, the economic system they're attempting to set in place, and that's why this cash reduction thing, you know, the making cash sales illegal, even if it's just in secondhand. Well, that's just the start. You know, if we let them, if we creep the door open, they're gonna push it open. If we let them creep it open, they push it open. They're like, here it is, boom, I'm in the house now. You know, for metaphorical understanding. You know, if you give them that much little creep, they're coming in. And you know, we let them pass this one thing in one state about, you know, secondhand sales. So yeah, and they'll claim it's about drugs. You know, we're watching drug transactions. Well, you know, how is that going to stop? It's already illegal to sell the drugs. What's the difference if they can't sell it with cash? They're still gonna do it. Do you not understand that? But again, it's not about stopping the drugs. It's not about doing any of that. It's all about control. They want to control us, and that's what it's all about. And no matter how much they say it's for good, it's really for evil. The devil appears as an angel of light. So that's what I just wanted to explain to people, that the evil mindset of how you would set up this credit system that they want to go for on a UN standard. And there actually is UN legislation proposing ideals like this. But I forget what they call the credit system. It's like I'll have to look it up and get back to everyone with some links that I'll add when I get the time to look it up. But I'm doing so much, it's hard to figure out. But I do understand that much of it, just based off the little bit of understanding I have about how you would set up an economic system in a society that is gone into debt, into bankruptcy. Technically, the whole world goes into bankruptcy to an elite group of a few people, and then all of a sudden they claim they own everything, including the people, and they say we can dictate what you have, how much money, what your wealth level is going to be. And again, the wealth level will be based on loyalty. If you're loyal to them, you'll have a higher wealth level than if you're disloyal to them. And the most disloyal, well, your credit level will be 0, and they'll just come and lock you up in a camp and say it's for your own good. If they don't just get rid of you, disappear you, purge you. So there you go. I'm going to get into Christopher Dorner stuff again in another segment here. But this is another special report for the news recap show that we do here on Liberty Intelligence Organization Network, which we have started to expand. So, as always, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I want to remind everyone, stay safe, stay strong, stay free, and most importantly, stay informed.